What is going on, guys? This is Ben here, bringing another Brawl Stars video. Today, we are joined with one of the best players, arguably the best player in Brawl Stars here. We are here with OhG. How you doing, man?
Hey Ben, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on the channel.
No problem. So, OhG has a huge channel of his own. He's almost got 27,000 subscribers. And then he also got his own Twitter. It's at OhG Gaming, so definitely go check those out. It'll be in the description below. And give him some love because I bet you can describe your channel better than I can. So what do you usually post over there?
A lot of it's like competitive gameplay. I have a series where I get brawlers to 1,000 trophies and just like other guides, sort of stuff like that.
Just casually, 1,000 trophy brawlers, no big deal. It's not hard or anything, right? OhG has 22,000 trophies, or has been at 22,000 trophies before. That is quite absurd, man. Like, how was that push?
Oh, it was insane. I dedicated like so much time to it, and I had like no intentions of getting 22,000. Originally, the plan was to get 20,000, but there was that Korean guy, One Sick, and he would not like let me get first, so I just had to keep going, and I managed to snag it on the last day, like 6 hours left in the season. So it was crazy, but definitely very time consuming.
So yeah, you say very time consuming. Like, how many hours a day were you playing?
So I looked at my battery life on my phone, which got literally slaughtered after that season. But I averaged 14 hours a day for 10 days. 14
hours a day, just straight playing Brawl Stars.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now, I have to ask the question, was it more of like the motivation just to be #1, or like did you get a little bored, or you're just like, what are your thought process doing 14 hours a day straight playing Brawl Stars?
Oh, I was like so bored. It was kind of just going through the motions after like the first few days. And I'm just like a really stubborn person, so I kind of told everyone that I was going to get #1 this season. So I kind of just had to stick to my word.
Were you basically always playing with the same people, or would you always just be like kind of rotating in and out? Because I assume like typically you want to be with people you trust, and you don't really, if you're going for #1, you don't want to put those trophies on the line, right?
So I typically had people that I'd play with during the day, and then like each like part of the day I'd have like a different group of people that I'd play with. So like for the nighttime, like if Siege was out, I had someone that would stay up with me. And then like early mornings I had someone that would play, and then like midday. So okay, it was like always the same people, kind of.
It's like a nice little mini rotation and everything.
Yeah.
So when you're pushing, what is like the better way to go about it? Is it like just push up one brawler really high in trophies, then move on to the next, or is it kind of just like all doing them just kind of randomly? Like, what do you usually go about, or how do you usually go about doing that?
So I usually try pushing, like I'll have a set goal in my mind at the start of the season, and I'll calculate what brawler needs to go, like how high. But I'll always try pushing one brawler, let's say 600 to 900, just because 800 to 900 is really hard, like the matchmaking takes a while. And I don't want to save like everyone for the last 3 days, 800 to 900. I'd rather like not get burnt out and have like a bit of an easier push. So I kind of like spread it out.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Do you usually like tend to push like the easier brawlers to push first, or like the OP ones, or do you kind of wait to do those last because they're easier?
Yeah, so I always try doing the hard ones first. But for the past two like #1 pushes, I've done the hard ones first, and then it was like a balance change mid-season, and the hard ones become the good ones, and it's just like, oh crap. But,
gotcha.
I try saving like my favorites for last, just because I like enjoy playing them.
I kind of want to shift into like pro stuff, like pro tournaments, pro everything, aside from pushing, because you're pushing 14 hours a day. On like a normal day now, like when you're maybe practicing for a tournament, or other stuff, like how much do you kind of play now, just to like be like, I gotta stay on top of my game and everything?
Yeah, so I don't really push ladder anymore too much. Eventually I'll get back into it, I think. Not like going for #1 every season, but
you needed a break, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of like detoxing from ladder. So I'll scrim like 2 to 3 hours a day against like another really competitive team, and I think that's like way better practice than just playing ladder all day. So I get a lot more out of that than just pushing ladder.
Not bad, not bad. So you recently won a tournament too. How was that?
Yeah, so we won the Supercell NA Open. It was definitely a cool experience, and it was very well done. Like, shout out to Supercell because it was just like so well organized, and like the format was great, the commentators were great, and everything. So it was pretty cool winning a Supercell tournament, and they're having them every week, so we're hoping to get the next one too.
Oh, nice, nice. So I guess this is maybe for any aspiring pro Brawl Stars players that are maybe watching. Like, what are some maybe tips on how to get noticed? Do you think it's more of like just entering those tournaments and trying to place well, or do you think maybe it's like getting noticed on ladder and always doing well? Like, what do you think is a better way to go about it, or a combination
like
of everything?
Because unfortunately, like, a bit of being a pro player is like a popularity contest. So you definitely have to get your name out. Social medias help, but you definitely want to enter all the tournaments just for like the practice. There's a big difference between casually playing and like a high pressure scenario. So just like any practice that you can get in those like high pressure games is like really important.
Basically, join the tournaments, and if you win, you'll get noticed, and then you kind of go from there, and then practice a lot, play a lot.
Pretty much.
So, shifting to the brawlers now. I'll ask this first. What do you think is the most OP brawler right now?
Definitely Rosa.
Definitely Rosa. Yeah, I made the mistake. Like, I did like a ranking video, and this was like, I recorded it probably like a day or two after like the Rosa balance change, and I was like, maybe she's not number one. I want to be kind of tentative with my ranking.
Mm-hmm.
So I put her a little lower, and I was totally wrong. And then I was just like, oh my god, but I still posted a few days after. Probably should change it, but what do you think makes her like so good? Is it the shield, or just like how oppressive she is?
It's just like a mix of everything. Obviously the shield's like huge, and the fact that she can chain it, but the part that always gets me is she'll just sneak up on me like out of a bush, and she kind of has like, I feel like her range is longer than it looks. So I think that catches a lot of people off guard, and she has that extra speed on most characters too, so she can like catch up to you a little bit. It's just like a deadly combo.
What is the Dr. Disrespect thing? He's got the speed, or she's got the speed, the vertical, the whatever, I don't know. But yeah, she's super strong. So if she is still after, because that was a pretty hefty nerf, 2 seconds to her super, 10% whatever to her damage reduction. What do you think they should still like change about her to maybe put her more in line? Like, what do you think is the most OP aspect? The range, the super?
Just like how she can cycle supers. It's like really tough. Like, once a Rosa gets her super, as long as she like uses it smart, like she can just keep cycling it, and when she has her super, you like literally can't do anything to her. So
you think maybe taking like a little bit longer time to get it?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you okay with the 70% damage reduction basically being invincible for 4 seconds?
I mean, it's not ideal, but I think I could live with that if she didn't have her super for like 50% of the game.
All right. So do you think she has any weaknesses?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few brawlers that can like counter her. It's not like a hard counter, but they can definitely deal with her, and those are typically the ones that have like slows and stuns. So Shelly, Frank, Tara, even Spike in the right condition. But like, unfortunately, a lot of those brawlers can get pretty hard countered too, so it's always risky if you want to play one of them.
Yeah, I remember I watched your video on how to counter Rosa, and you're like, these brawlers all kind of stop her, but at the same time, Rosa can also basically destroy these brawlers too. So it's like,
yeah, you have to play it like really well, and I mean, it's still like not a big counter, but it's just brawlers that can deal with her.
All right, so we talked about the counters a little bit. What do you think like are some brawlers that work really well with her? I mean, like
on the same team as Rosa?
Yeah, like the same, like your team. Would you like a Poco for the heal, or just like?
That's what I was just gonna say. Poco and Rosa work really well in like Brawl Ball and stuff like that. I think Jean in like some game modes works really well because you can kind of Jean pull and then the Rosa can finish it off and get like super. Just brawlers that can kind of zone too and like push them in Rosa's direction and just kind of like force them into her.
Okay. So what do you think Rosa's best game mode is?
I don't play Showdown too much, but when I did play Showdown with Rosa, it was like insane. So maybe Showdown, but she's also really strong in Brawl Ball and Gem Grab.
Do you think she's like okay in Siege, or do you typically think she's better in the other modes?
She's really good in Siege too. She's like, I mean, in the Supercell tournament, she was literally used in every single game. So,
every game.
They recorded it, and she had like 100% usage rate. Like someone on one of the teams played Rosa like every single game, like every map, every mode. So
yeah, Supercell.
I think we might have a bit of a problem, Supercell.
Yes, nerf her again. Now, kind of leads into the next question. So we've had, well, I mean, you've been playing Brawl Stars forever, so you know when Leon was released. Beyond Broken as well. Then we had Jean, very underwhelming at first. Not so much anymore, but at first, kind of underwhelming. And then we had Carl, same thing. He was a little bit on the weak side. And then we had Rosa, broke the game again. So, if you had a choice, would you rather have a brawler be super overpowered and then get nerfed like 2 days after or something, or be on the weak side or the tentative side and then buff like later after maybe like a couple weeks or something?
Definitely the weak side, because that way it doesn't like completely mess up the meta, and you know, you can see like what areas it's weak in after watching like people play it like competitively or just like on the ladder for a few weeks. And you know, it's not going to break the game, because when brawlers like Rosa are kind of like in the game, or like Leon, like when he first came out, it kind of ruins the game for a lot of people, I think. And especially like since Leon was legendary, like not a lot of people could have him, and I feel like that threw a lot of people off the game.
Yeah, I just feel like the Leon and Rosa release are so similar, because like Leon, they nerfed him, he's still like the best brawler, and then Rosa, they nerf her, still like the best brawler. And Leon's still like a very good brawler after countless nerfs over and over again.
Yeah, he's still a beast.
So, Charlie, going back on Rosa, I guess something just came into mind again. It was like, I feel like the difference a lot of times between like a very good Rosa and a very bad Rosa is when they activate her super. So when do you feel is like the best time to actually activate her super is?
I mean, you definitely want to get like all the value that you can out of your super. So you want to make sure you're in range and that you can sort of cycle it back, or at least get some value and work towards your next super. But again, it's like situational. Like if you need to run away with gems, like just throw it out, or like if you're gonna score in Brawl Ball, just throw it out, get that shield up, and like walk it in or whatever. So it's like pretty situational.
Would you activate it like before you engage on a brawler, or like when you're fighting with them and then activate like your super?
Probably like right when you're about to engage with them. That way you can start building your next super up.
Okay, you get the most value out of it, the most hits and everything. All right. So, moving away from Rosa, aside from her, who would you say is your number 2 brawler? Like the second best brawler?
I'd have to go with Carl right now, I think. Carl's like very strong. He's pretty fun to play too. I like Carl. It just seems like he counters like so many brawlers right now, besides Rosa. But
I just wanted to get a pros reformation on that, because like I said, I knocked Rosa a little bit in the ranking after the nerf, but I had him number 1. So
he's really strong.
Yeah. So other than that, just general trophy pushing tips. I've already had people say it a lot, like play with a team, play Siege. Aside from those two, like what do you think are the best trophy tips, like pushing tips in general?
For me, like it always helps to have reasonable goals. Just something that you can kind of like work towards, like write it down on a piece of paper and just track your progress. So definitely playing with the team helps, but if you can get in a call with them, that's like really crucial too. You definitely want to have fun when you're pushing, because it makes it like less of a chore. And so I'd recommend playing modes and brawlers that you enjoy.
There you go. So I guess, what is your overall favorite game mode?
I'd have to go with Brawl Ball, I think.
Brawl Ball?
Yeah. I feel like you can be like a little more creative in Brawl Ball than the other modes, so you can make some cool plays.
I don't know. I struggle. I guess I struggle with Brawl Ball, just because like it's very it's very control based at the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just kind of like running around, doing. I don't know.
Understandable. Running around's pretty fun.
Yeah, but other than that, thank you for joining us, man. Any final thoughts on like pros playing, your push, Rosa, anything you can think of?
I mean, we did a pretty thorough job covering everything, but Supercell, if you're listening, please nerf Rosa.
Yes, hashtag nerf Rosa again. Oh, one last question I always like to ask you.
Sure.
Percentage-wise, how much do you auto aim?
It depends on the brawler.
No, depending on the brawler. We know it depends like Bull, 100%, stuff like that.
Yeah. Thanks, 100%. I prefer like long range passive brawlers, so I don't auto aim as much as some people who like prefer the aggro ones. So I'll go with like 15%.
Okay, so that sounds good. That's a fair one. Sorry, I just like to ask. But yeah, definitely check out OhG on his channel. Like you said, he's got a lot of like high level gameplays. He's got calmly pushing 1,000 trophy brawlers all the time. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely check out OhG for sure. Thank you for joining me, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure.
All right, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you.